Scene start. Slow, somber music begins, reminiscent of late-era Beatles. Grainy, black-and-white footage flickers on screen. In the cold, cavernous space of Twickenham Studios, a dream was dying. The year was 1969, and the Beatles, the biggest band the world had ever known, were fracturing under the weight of their own legend. We see Paul McCartney, his face etched with a tension that belies the creative process, looking utterly alone even when surrounded by the very men who had been his brothers in music. He's trying to hold it all together, but the magic is fading. Quick, jarring cuts follow. Newspaper headlines screaming, "Beatles break up." Legal documents flying. Reporters shouting questions into the void. The world's most beloved band was no more. And for Paul, the architect of so many of their triumphs, the silence that followed was deafening. The end wasn't just a news story, it was the catastrophic collapse of his entire world. The music shifts to a more atmospheric, melancholic tone. The visuals change to sweeping, desolate shots of the Scottish countryside. Fleeing the wreckage, Paul retreated. He escaped to the windswept, rugged landscapes of his farm in Scotland, a self-imposed exile from the storm of public opinion and legal battles. Here, he became a recluse. We see him, bearded and weathered, wandering alone through barren fields, the stark beauty of the highlands mirroring the profound emptiness he felt inside. This was a man utterly lost, grappling with a depression that threatened to consume him. The Beatles hadn't just been a job, they were his identity, his family, his life's work. To lose it all so publicly, so painfully, was to lose himself. He was adrift in a wilderness of his own making, haunted by the ghost of what was. The music gradually picks up a gentle, hopeful, acoustic rhythm. The visuals warm up, showing intimate, home video-style footage. But even in the darkest of winters, a seed of creation can find a way to sprout. The turning point came not with a flash of lightning, but with the quiet, unwavering support of his wife, Linda. With her by his side, literally holding the microphone at times, Paul began to build something new from the ground up. In the raw, unpolished recordings of his first solo album, McCartney, we hear a man rediscovering the simple joy of making music. Soon after, the idea of a new band began to form. This wasn't about recreating the Beatles, it was about starting over. We see the humble beginnings of Wings, Paul, Linda, and a few friends piling into a van, driving to universities and surprising students with impromptu gigs for pocket change. This was a deliberate act of shedding the skin of a superstar, a return to the basics, far from the colossal shadow he had been living under. The music swells into a triumphant rock and roll anthem. The visuals explode with color, energy, and scale. The ascent was gradual but unstoppable. From those small university halls, Wings began to climb. The venues grew larger, the crowds louder. We see a montage of sold-out concerts, flashing lights, and the faces of a new generation of fans screaming his name. The ultimate validation came from an ordeal. After being robbed at knife point in Lagos, Nigeria, losing demos for their next project, Paul and the band channeled the chaos into a masterpiece. The album Band on the Run became a global phenomenon, a critical and commercial triumph that cemented his status as a formidable artist in his own right. The final shots show him on a massive stage, a rock star reborn, guitar in hand, bathed in the adoration of thousands. He had faced the abyss and emerged not just intact, but stronger, having forged a powerful new identity, finally and completely on his own terms. Scene end.